Hey! Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing this fantastic evening? Welcome back to another reading stream. We're here to do some more of, you know, that good old SCP type deal. One second, I'm doing a thing. EST time, baby, you know it. Except I'm CST. Sorry. Got a little distracted. Check a thing. Oh, I forgot to do the thing. First altered items and now SCPs, you know it. Back to SCP, of course, of course. There we go. Okay. Excuse me, I'm doing a thing on the side. All right. Hey, you, Derpy. I'm grabbing you. How do I do this? Can I do this? I want to do a thing. 7 o'clock on now and I don't feel tired like I did before. Nice. How do I... Do I allow that? Sorry, I've got a lot of stuff on my brain and I'm trying to figure it out. Don't you love when you're eating something and some food gets into your keyboard and you have to move the keycaps to get it out and you end up not eating it for 5 minutes? What, the food in your keycaps? Ugh. How you doing, Beta Fan? How you doing, Derpy? How do I do this? Exactly? I love eating that. If I'm being honest. Causing a power plant to fall in a game? Is it the NSC? For 5 mils of GTA game and was portrayed a cult? I was in just for that? What, for like a couple bucks? Well, unfortunately, I can't do what I was trying to do anyway. I'm paying attention again. What's going on? Got some noodle inside my keyboard and I didn't even get to remove it? What, before the noodle got smished? Unfortunate. 15,500 or more? 31 million out of betraying them. I'd say that's worth it. Won't fall asleep until like 2. Let's see. What happened? Oh, I was trying to figure out if I could get gifted memberships to work. They do not work. They are not eligible on my channel. I'll look at them again later. I wanted to upload a new emote, and I need exactly 1 membership to do it, so I was going to gift a membership, but I can't. Oh, well. Oops. I apologize if you are currently seeing an ad. Let me type that as well. I apologize if you are currently seeing an ad. I accidentally pressed the ad button. I have literally never pressed that button before. Sorry, things are breaking. I am trying. They work for me. Gifted memberships. Only members can do it. Really? You think I'd be able to do it on myself? Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. You know what does matter? Me turning the music down. Got a skippable one. Yeah, sorry about that, Derby. People in general, I can't do it to myself. You think I'd be able to, but I guess not. Anyway, I've got a couple SCPs already set up. If we end up taking less time than anticipated to get through them, then we will add more. But now, I think it's time we get started. Started. And we are going to begin with Pit on the Road. Item number SCP-056-UA. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. It should be reported about all instances of SCP-56-UA to Site UA-80. And all instances must be recorded to file Prot 056-UA-PIT, which is available to any personnel with level 1/56-UA or higher clearance. MTF, the Abnormal Administration for Traffic Safety, equipped by Tractor, must intercept all messages about SCP-56-UA and eliminate effects of the phenomenon. All affected subjects and, if it's necessary, witnesses must be amnesticized. If it need a more reliable cover, MTF gossip writers must be used. Decisions about repairing of vehicle and other objects and medical care of affected must be made by joint decision of supervisor of object, embedded personnel from Ethics Committee, and from Economic Department. Description: SCP-56-UA is the phenomenon, what takes place in Ukraine and nearby countries, and which is emerged from a deep pit on the traffic road. Usually, the pit's depth is from 40 centimeters to 150 centimeters, and width is from 0.5 meters to 2 meters. However, there have been registered cases when the depth of SCP-56-UA was up to 5 meters, and width was up to 7 meters. Usually, SCP-56-UA emerges in that time when the road is covered by snow, ice, puddles, dirt, and other materials and objects that made it difficult to see in time, SCP-056-UA. SCP-056-UA emerges in places where before there were no pits. At least, no pits of such size. Also, usually, SCP-056-UA emerged filled with water, and sometimes with liquid dirt and trash. In these circumstances, the car or another vehicle that drives over the pit easily falls in SCP-056-UA. This event is designated as AEX-056-A, and affected vehicle is designated as E056-UA. Event AEX-056-A may result in damage to SCP-E056-UA, injury or even death of passengers, and causing a crash accident on the road. Till sometime after AEX-056-A pit, SCP-056-UA disappears from the place. This event is designated as AEX-056-B. It usually happens a few minutes after moment which E056-UA leaves SCP-056-UA. Some E056-UA were taken for analysis, but did not reveal any of their abnormal properties. In several incidents, there were cases when E056-UA ascended to the surface of SCP-056-UA, after which in the place of the object appeared a usual puddle, which was there before the appearance of SCP-056-UA. Also, in cases when a E056-UA entirely is below the surface of SCP-056-UA, E056-UA can disappear in the moment of AEX-056-B. All efforts to find E056-UA disappeared in such a way has not been successful. Radio connection with all probes and drones which were sent into SCP-056-UA were always interrupted in the moment of AEX-056-B. Input access code. Access granted. Your request to access protocol Prot 056 UA-PIT for the period January to March 2012 in the Ukraine accepted. Clearance level 2/056-UA. Identifier INC 056-UA-1/2012. Location of incident redacted Sumy Oblast. Date and place of AEX 056-A 1st of January 2012 3:33. Parameters of SCP-056-UA. Depth 60 centimeters wide. Width 110 by 70 centimeters. E056-UA. Taxi de Ulanos with 3 passengers. Note: E056-UA received minor damage. Passengers received minor injuries. Was introduced a story about collision with a tree. INC 056-UA-2/2012. Redacted Kharkiv Oblast. 13th of January 2012 13:28. Depth 100 centimeters. Width 140 by 100 centimeters. Mercedes-Benz blank. Object caused a crash accident on the road. E056-UA and another vehicle received moderate damage. Was provided a story about accidental collision of 2 cars. INC 056-UA-3/2012. Redacted, Lviv Oblast. 12th of February, 2012, 2023. Depth, 120 centimeters. Width, 210 by 200 centimeters. Trolley bus model, data expunged. Due to the incident, blank people suffered, blank of whom received money for treatment at the expense of the Foundation. Was provided mass amnesticization of witnesses. E056-UA received moderate damages and was sent for scrap. INC 056-UA-4/2012. Redacted, Luhansk Oblast. 16th of February, 2012, 12:50. Depth, 90 centimeters. Width, 300 by 170 centimeters. Truck model Kamaz, blank. E056-UA received moderate injuries, and the driver received minor injuries. A story was introduced about the sudden refusal of mechanisms of E056-UA during movement due to the possible use of counterfeit fuel and lubricants. INC 056-UA-5/2012. Redacted, Donetsk Oblast. 7th of March, 2012, 16:01. Depth, 50 centimeters. Width, 100 by 60 centimeters. Hammer model Viper MX200F F5. E056-UA received hard injuries. Driver died due to injuries. Story was provided about the driver, who lost control of vehicle. INC 056-UA-6/2012. Redacted, Kiev Oblast. 23rd of March, 2012, 15:15. Depth, 350 centimeters. Width, 330 by 300 centimeters. Auto model, blank. Data expunged.
Yippee! Talk about a pothole, am I right?
Levati's TV show? What, does Audie have like an auto show? He really can sweep? Gotta sweep, sweep, sweep! You know how it is.
You know what time it is?
Bum, bum, bum. What is this class? Euclid? Nice. All right. How was the audio on that, by the way? I moved the mic. Talking about the tape altered item.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't the FBC get his show from Ukraine? I thought they just recorded him in the house. Boom, boom, boom. Audio was good? Okay. Just making sure because I moved the microphone to be in front of my mouth, which it normally is not. But then again, I'm being quieter, so it doesn't need to be to the side. I am making a voice acting cardinal sin right now. I'm drinking a soda. Don't do that. Drink water. Drink water, drink water, drink water, bitch. Macintosh? Hackintosh is decent. On to the next. Yeah, let's give it a moment. I actually need to get up and stretch. I ordered a new standing desk to put down here at the office. Like I have at home. So that I can stand up. But sitting down, as much as I have been for streams, is not good on my back. It really doesn't like it. I gotta get up and stretch. I'm old now, dude. I'm 30. I'm decrepit. I'm ancient. My body's falling apart. Ugh. Yeah, I'm getting a standing desk to spare my back. Stretch time. Yep, just a little quick one. Get some water. I put lithium in a reactor? Oh. Well, they do use it to make batteries, so I'm sure it's fine. I need a walker machine. I already do, dude. My back's fucked. That whole lifting sodas for a living thing. Even if you do it right, it'll still fuck your back up. Where'd music go? I want a good song. That'll do. This is a power place, a place of power. Know you're 30? I'm so old, dude. I've been doing this since I was 23. Did a SpongeBob workout? Bring it around town. Anyway. It is a good time to move on. This will be our next. It goes by the name of... A Good Dog. Item number SCP-2420. Object class neutralized. Special containment procedures. SCP-2420 is currently being held in the low-security humanoid containment wing at Site-213. As of Incident 2420-A, all anomalous activity exhibited by SCP-2420 has been observed to be neutralized. Possible permanent containment, despite cessation of all anomalous activity, is being reviewed by the Ethics Committee. Prior special containment procedures. SCP-2420 is to be held in a humanoid containment cell in a specialized containment wing at Site-213. Due to SCP-2420's severe depression, it is to be administered bupropion and citalopram twice daily, with alprazolam administered as needed. Quick aside. Every time I have to say the name of this medication, it trips me up. SCP-2420 is allowed to create an instance of SCP-2420-1 twice a week for 3 hours at a time, to be lengthened or lessened dependent on cooperation with the current mental state of SCP-2420. Outside of monitored contact with SCP-2420-1, all domesticated dogs, or Canis lupus familiaris, are to be kept outside of SCP-2420's awareness. A pool of domesticated dogs are to be on hand at Foundation kennels to be used as SCP-2420-1 instances on a rotating basis. Former instances of SCP-2420-1 maintain no anomalous traits, and can be adopted by Site-213 personnel or reintegrated into nearby animal shelters. Testing of SCP-2420 has been discontinued. Any recommendations for possible resumed testing are to be brought before researcher Hydock. Description: SCP-2420 was a human, formerly John Blank, who created instances of SCP-2420-1, which took the appearance and memories of the former's pet dog out of domesticated dogs, or Canis lupus familiaris. Footnote: given the noted similarities in their manifestation of deceased pets, a possible link to SCP-3737 is being investigated. The effects occurred whenever SCP-2420 was made aware of any dog, or any dog was made aware of SCP-2420. Repeated testing showed that only domesticated dogs were affected, with wolves, coyotes, and other canids being immune to the anomalous effects. Dogs of any size would become an instance of SCP-2420-1 and show no pain in their transformation, aside from a general confusion found when brought outside of SCP-2420's influence. SCP-2420 showed no anomalous effects beyond its ability to create instances of SCP-2420-1. Testing showed no upward limit on the number of instances of SCP-2420-1 that could exist at a time. SCP-2420-1 instances were completely invulnerable to any form of damage. Attempts at DNA testing were rendered void when it was discovered that nothing could cut SCP-2420-1's fur. Any other tests into the indestructibility of SCP-2420-1 were deemed unnecessary, partly due to the fragile nature of SCP-2420's mental state. While SCP-2420-1 instances showed no need for water or food, the instances would eat whatever was presented to them, with various poisons showing no effect. Former instances of SCP-2420-1 that were dissected after being fed showed no sign of having recently ingested any food. Despite SCP-2420-1 instances taking the form of SCP-2420's Border Terrier, photographs and videos of SCP-2420-1 consistently displayed the original body of the dog in question. This resulted in physical discomfort and mental distress regarding certain photos and videos, namely one showing St. Bernards being able to fit through a small aperture, but the images themselves maintained no otherwise anomalous effect. SCP-2420 Initial Interview Log. This is the first interview to take place after SCP-2420's admittance into Site-213.
Good morning, SCP-2420. I've heard you've had some trouble sleeping. Xanax. Pardon me? Anxious. Helps me sleep. Give me some, I guess. Also, turn up the air conditioning. Absolutely. However, I am not merely here to see to your mental and physical state. As I'm sure you may have guessed, I'd like to hear about your relationship with your pet before she was deceased. Maddie. Pardon? Ma'am, you can call me whatever you want, but she has a name. It's Maddie, short for Matilda. Her full name is Matilda May. Matilda May blank, I guess. Duly noted, but please tell me about Maddie. Well, she was my dog, I guess. Got her from a neighbor. They're not like a breeder. They had a border terrier meet another border terrier, and they were looking to, give away puppies, I guess. That was lonely. My parents died, but I guess you know that. They left me a house, but it's fucked up lonely to be the only one living in some dead people's house, you know? Mm-hmm. Came to their house, their backyard, really. They had all the puppies kind of, all meshed up. I mean, in some, cage. Hey, can we turn a fan on? It's really hot, it's really hot. Hard to breathe. Certainly, SCP-2420, but please, calm down. I promise, I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to hear your relationship with with Maddie. You were just telling me about the day you chose her from the litter. Okay. I saw her, yeah. She wasn't the biggest, but I, noticed her right away. She was a bit of a bully. She was playing, yeah, but got the sense she didn't have patience for the other dogs. They bothered her. She wanted them to know it. And when I came over, she was the last to come see me. The others, they just jumped up, trying to get me, wanting attention, wanting to be picked up. She just sat down. She stared at me for a good bit. I stared back. It was weird, I guess, but I felt like she was sizing me up. She came over, real confident, kind of pushed aside her brothers and sisters, and I held my hand out to her. She clamped down on my hand. But not hard, it wasn't mean. She was never mean. Not to me. From then on, guess I knew I had to get her. Did she ever exhibit any anomalous abilities? For that matter, before this, have you ever been able to do something that, to be blunt, SCP-2420, felt impossible? If I thought I was magic, I definitely wouldn't have been a telemarketer, living in my parents' house. And Maddie? No, Maddie was definitely not, magic. I mean, shit, she was afraid of rainstorms. She thought the vacuum cleaner was a real animal. She was, a smart dog, though. Always seemed to be more person than dog, yeah, but not magic. I always thought, she could learn a bunch of tricks if she wanted, but she clearly had no interest. Mere tricks were beneath her. She carried herself like a little queen, I guess. So nothing strange in her life had ever led you to believe that she could be capable of this kind of anomaly. She was normal. I mean, like I said, she wasn't really a big fan of other dogs, but she'd play with them. It was always like, they were beneath her. But she'd chase them. She was, real territorial. Maddie killed a couple, birds and stuff. A squirrel once, because he got caught up in a fence. Never thought she'd catch one. Shit, you should have seen her. Blood all over her muzzle, so damn proud of herself.
Extraneous data removed.
But, I guess you want to hear about how she died, right? That would be helpful. Quite helpful, even. SCP-2420. Even that was, I guess, sadly normal. Just taking her for a walk. She always loved walks. I mean, shit, I guess all dogs love walks, but she liked them a lot more. I don't know, maybe that's crazy. We were walking, near the street and, can we turn up the air conditioning? Just a little bit? Certainly. You'd rather not talk about this right now, we could discuss it another time. No, I'm fine, I guess. She, didn't die after all, right? A car hit her. Guess I wasn't paying attention. People said I was lucky I didn't get hit, but I'd rather have gotten hit. Maybe I wouldn't have died. Squished her down the middle. It was horrible. Person driving the car was some teen girl. Wasn't her fault. Was jaywalking. She was young. Wasn't her fault. I knew her mother, she lived on the street. But I couldn't stop crying. There she was, waltzing Matilda May. There she fucking was. She was dead. Bleeding everywhere. Took her in my arms. She wasn't breathing. Didn't get to be there for her last breath. I think she died when I was crying, when I was stunned by all the shit. And what was done with the body. They took her. I walked her. Wasn't that far. Said I was in shock, but I knew what I was doing. Got a shovel from my garage, my dad's shovel. Got her favorite blanket. Guess it was my blanket, really. A big, green one. She always loved it. It was mine, but it may have well been hers. She was more comfortable with it than, well, anyone else could have been, you know? You give a dog a blanket and you swear no human could ever be so cozy. I wrapped her up. All broken. God, she was so small. Dug a hole in the middle of my backyard. There was a spot where the shade of the trees didn't reach. She lay there. Waltzing Matilda, may I have this dance? That's what I named her after all. You know, the song? Buried her. She should, still be there. You guys can check it out. No one moved it. Certainly, SCP-2420. Thank you for your cooperation. If you want to stop now, I would certainly understand. It's been a tough day for you. No, it's fine. There's only a little bit more anyway. Can I continue? Absolutely. I was going to kill myself the day I noticed that she was, everywhere dogs were. Just a normal walk. I was going to, jump off a bridge. I don't know if I was really gonna, to be honest, ma'am. But it felt like I was gonna. Felt right. But things were weird. I'd never noticed so many border terriers in my life. The neighbors, all of them identical, and they looked just like Maddie. I thought I was losing it. They were trying to get under the gate, trying to climb up it, barking at me, carrying on. I didn't notice anything was weird until I got near the dog park. And that's where we found you, correct? Yeah, I guess. That's where you all found me. I don't know why I got there. Wasn't even near the bridge. Wasn't even all that close. I think I just wanted to see some before I died. They were always so nice, dogs, but they were all border terriers. They were all running to me. So many of them. And they all stopped in front of me. Owners were yelling. People were, screaming. They were slipping out of collars that had gotten too big. They were, breaking free from everything to come to me. They encircled me. They were all her. I knew it immediately. They were all her. One walked up to me, and it bit my hand. Gentle. That's when I fainted. Then, well, I'm here. Excellent. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Is there anything you need before this is concluded? Yeah, just one. Just one thing. Yes? Does it hurt them? Does what she does hurt them? I heard they stop being her when I'm not there. Are they okay? Yes, when they're not instances of SCP... I mean, when they cease to be Maddie, there is no pain. There is no pain in the switch, either to or from. None of the dogs have exhibited any signs, and anomalous or not, of being in any way affected by Maddie and your effect. And you? You're not going to hurt them? Pardon me? Listen, I've seen E.T. I'm not stupid. You're going to dissect them. Dissect her, maybe. I'm telling you. Please don't. Please don't hurt a dog because of me. Beg of you. I will see what I can do, SCP-2420. Once again, thank you. Will I get to see her again? Visiting times can certainly be arranged, especially for testing purposes. Thank you. I miss her so much. Didn't even get to tell her how good a girl she was. For, being magic.
Foundation operatives were able to recover the remains of SCP-2420's former pet, where it had claimed them to be. The remains were not anomalous in any way, and had been met with the expected amount of decay. End of interview log. Incident 2420-A. During a routine session with SCP-2420 and SCP-2420-1, the latter was found to have reverted to its original appearance, while in the presence of the former. Continued testing with SCP-2420 and other dogs showed that the SCP-2420 anomaly had most likely been extinguished. Currently, SCP-2420 has been allowed to perform Level 0 clerical work, while the Ethics Committee will meet to decide what actions to take next. The object has been deemed neutralized. Incident 2420-A interview log. This interview took place immediately after Incident 2420-A.
Was there anything different about Maddie today, SCP-2420? No, it was just like any other day. She came in, jumped around a bit, took her on a little walk, and we were just sitting together. Just normal, lounging. But, I don't know, something felt weird. You noticed it, right? She'd been looking older, even whiter in the jaw. And her snout. God, how long have I been here, Doc? 6 years? Actually, 10. Jesus. Well, that's a long time, isn't it? Yeah, so I'd been noticing. She'd been getting older. Which was weird, since really this hasn't been 10 years for her. It's only been 6 hours a week for 10 years? But whatever, maybe it was stressful on her. Maybe time doesn't work like that, I don't know. True. We found that a normal timeline doesn't apply to most anomalous objects under our care. Yeah, see? But she'd been quiet and cuddly. I guess it was almost time for her to go. Time's up. She always knew when it was close, time-wise. So she hopped off the couch, and that usually hurts her hips a little bit. She didn't wince or anything. She licked my hand, then she bit it, looked me in the eyes. That's when I knew this was going to be the last time I saw her. That's when I knew. It had been so hard for her to cling in all those other dogs. I wonder how we did it. It was hard, but she loved me, I guess. And then she was gone. She let go. And she barked at me. Once, impatient, the way she did when she had a toy and I wasn't paying attention, she grinned. Stupid grin. Tongue flopping. And it was like, I don't know, like a flash. Then suddenly she was that confused golden retriever. Poor baby. I had no fucking clue who I was. So I guess you're, not gonna keep me around anymore, right? Gonna suck out my memories, drop me back into the real world? That is certainly a possibility. Would you prefer that? Honestly, most people under our care would do anything to escape us. I don't want to go. I don't want to go anywhere where I'll forget her. I'm afraid if I go back out, I'll die without her. Won't remember how she did such strange things to be with me again. That I did such wild shit. I'm afraid of being myself again. The old me. I'm worried I'll walk right back to that bridge. But she won't be at the dog park again. Shit, if you want, I'll clean up the toilets. Fuck, 10 years. How am I going to get a job? 10 years. Jesus. I will bring that to the attention of the Ethics Committee, though I make no promises. But what I want to ask is, do you feel meaningfully different, SCP-2420? Certainly, our conversations over the years have shown you take a turn. You believe it to be the medication the anomalous affects? Or was it merely being allowed to see your dog again? I don't know, Doc. Probably the latter. I don't know. I mean, do you want me to say whether or not you think my dog somehow cured my depression? That's certainly a question that's been on my mind. Of course she didn't cure me. Just felt nice. That someone loved me enough to do what she did. But she's just a dog. She's not magic.
End of interview log.
That was fun. That was a good one. Oh, stretch. Oh, boy. What the? Music has been really quiet on this one, huh? A lot of that's going to be quiet with just me talking, it'll sound like. There's technically music in there. How y'all doing? Y'all having a good evening? Well, I stretch my back again. Stretch. Pop the back. Speaking of back problems, I have a lot. I have back problems. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I remember you talking about having a big health problem a few years ago. I assume it's related? Sorry if I'm quiet. I'm getting up to stretch. Mild scoliosis, I see. I should probably go to a doctor and get a checkup. I haven't been to one in years. Last time I went to a doctor was 2021. the health problem you were talking about. I remember you having to... You said you had to, like, go in for, like, a big thing. This was years ago. Like 2020, 2021. I don't remember the exact details. I just remember you being really upset about it. Seizures I ever have. I think it was seizures. I think you were getting in to be for them to check your up on your seizures. I think that was it. Surgery. Maybe it was that. Maybe it was both. May have been both, honestly, at different times. Getting a little hot in here, actually. I'm gonna go turn the air conditioning down just a tad. I turned it up to like 78. Turn it down to 76. Well, 76. Probably was both. Yeah. Had a cavity filling. Now that's a real surgery. That's a real health scare right there. Alrighty. Yeah, I really like this article. This was good. Cavities ate a lot of sweets when I was younger, and I never had a cavity. Neither have I. I've messed up teeth, but that's because, you know, poor family, no braces. Yeah. But no cavities. I just got weird teeth. But I mean they're like not like aligned. I don't got like I was gonna say I'm not British. Worse than getting a small tumor out of your brain? Yeah. Alright, what's next? Suddenly my stomach hurts? That's not good. Monopolio! Teeth aren't aligned as well. I imagine it's the same for a lot of people. And I had braces? Oof. I was supposed to have braces. We just never got them. Monopolio. My two least favorite diseases. Mono and polio put together. I sleep with retainers at night. Ah. Yeah, grind my teeth as well. Oh, yep. Teeth grinding. I do a bit of that. I actually have a giant gash in one of my teeth. Where I was trying to like bite like a keychain thing back together to like seal it because it came unsealed, and it slipped, and one of the spiral bits gouged out like a trench of one of my teeth. It didn't hurt, it just felt really fucking weird. Anyway, this next one seems to be a little bit shorter. So let's just get going. Let's play Monopoly. Item number SCP-3128. Object class Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-3128 is to be kept in a secured locker on site. Access is limited to Level 4 personnel. Following Incident 3128-073, testing is prohibited. MTF Iota 10, Damn Feds, is to work with law enforcement personnel to investigate the whereabouts of POI 3128-1. If found, she is to be apprehended and taken into Foundation custody. Description: SCP-3128 is a near-complete Monopolio game set. Footnote: otherwise known as Monopoly in the US and UK. Originally produced in Portugal at some point in 1937. When played, it exerts an anomalous effect upon global real estate markets. Events in reality will mirror events in the game. Following the subprime mortgage crisis of 2007, all further tests by researchers involving manipulation of real estate markets via gameplay have been suspended. Following Incident 3128-073, all testing is suspended, pending review. Addendum 3128.1 Incident Log. Access SCP-3128/incidents/073.log. Incident Log. Date: September 21st, 2009. Participants: D3128-1 Alpha, D3128-2 Beta, D3128-3 Gamma. Subject: SCP-3128. Notes: the following is an excerpt from the audio taken during the test. Begin log.
It's your turn. Fuck. Come on, roll. There's no way I can win. I've already got like 6 complete monopolies, man. Just roll. Fine, whatever. Always hated this stupid...
Dice rolling.
Take your Chad's card. Yeah. Well? What is it? One sec. I need to try something. What the hell are you? Hey guys, I'm using this. The hell are you doing?
Door opening.
What the? Good luck, you two. How are you? Where are you?
Door closing. End log. Note: D3128-3 has been designated as POI 3128-1. Documentation of SCP-3128 updated to notice several pieces are now missing. This includes one of its Get Out of Jail Free cards. Yippee!
Peace! I'm getting out of here.
Real Monopoly!
Drinking water made it feel better. That's good. Stay hydrated, chat. Have you ever had surgery before? I have not. Probably should. I've got pretty sure it's called GERDs. I have a really bad family history of gallbladder problems. Pretty sure my dad's exploded. Lay down if your stomach hurt. Also that. Lay down, maybe drink water, depending on how it feels. Maybe get something light to eat. Depends on how it feels. Alright. That was a good one. That was fun. What was this? Save. SCP Wiki dot. Safe. This is neutralized. SCP Wiki dot. Neutralized. Nice. Yeah, lay down. Oh wait, Ticonderoga. This is gonna be the next one, by the way. Felt like a minute to me. All I remember is blacking out and then waking up feeling tired, even though I had like a 7-hour nap. Ah, don't you love anesthetic? It's like amnestics. You just go to sleep and you wake up and you don't remember a thing. Yeah, this is gonna be the next one. 7233. This one is really long. So, like, I don't know if we'll be able to do more past this. First day after surgery, I had bad pain in my leg and I couldn't even sleep well till the nurse pumped pain medicine and I felt better. Yeah. After effects. First day I literally wanted to stand up and move. Like the desire to walk it off. Speaking of walking, before we do this, I want to go for a little walk and use the restroom. So we're going to take a quick break. So, get up, walk around, get yourself a drink, use the restroom, all that good stuff. We'll be right back.
I'm back, hello.
Alrighty. It's Ticonderoga, indeed it is. Alrighty. Ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Alright. This one's gonna be a minute. So let's get ready. The Astroneer. Item number 7233. Level 4, Secret. Containment Class, Esoteric. Secondary Class, Ticonderoga. Disruption Class, Dark. Risk Class, Notice. Assigned Site, Site 78. Site Director, Leah Richter. Research Head, Matthew Vincent. Assigned Task Force, Binary Star.aic. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-7233's anomalous properties render... you know what, we're just going to restart that bit. We're just going to restart. How you doing, Lal Ming Mawia Indian? Welcome. The Astroneer. Item number 7233. Level 4 Secret. Containment Class, Esoteric. Secondary Class, Ticonderoga. Disruption Class, Dark. Risk Class, Notice. Assigned Site, Site 78. Site Director, Leah Richter. Research Head, Matthew Vincent. Assigned Task Force, Binary Star.aic. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-7233's anomalous physical properties render containment unfeasible. As of 1942, the O5 Council has ordered all attempts to contain SCP-7233 to cease. Binary Star.aic is to use Beholder Probe 12 to keep track of SCP-7233-1's location and extrapolate its next return time to Earth. When SCP-7233-1 lands on Earth, SCP-7233 is to be escorted via MTF to the nearest Foundation facility for debriefing, and allowed to return to SCP-7233-1 unimpeded. Any media taken of SCP-7233 by civilian sources is to be destroyed, and any witnesses to their presence amnesticized. SCP-7233-1 landing areas in populated areas are to be cleaned up, and any debris disposed of. Any landing sites in nature are to be explained as ancient ruins or structures. Description: SCP-7233 is an anomalous humanoid who refers to themselves as the Astroneer. SCP-7233 wears an orange skin-tight environment suit that lacks the bulky technology of current-era space suits. A device is latched around SCP-7233's right wrist that has a screen and several buttons that control various aspects of their suit. The suit's full functions are not understood, but are believed to provide life support and protection from hostile environments.
Information on SCP-7233's biology is scarce. Despite the anomaly claiming to be a human male, underneath, it is believed to be over 1,000 years old and shows no signs of declining physical activity. SCP-7233 has declined all attempts to remove its suit. Comparisons have been made between SCP-7233 and SCP-1233, noting that they have a similar demeanor and appearance. It is currently unknown if they have ever met. However, SCP-7233 is aware of the stories told by SCP-1233, and thus research into their connection is currently ongoing. SCP-7233-1 appears as a standard hot air balloon. Investigations of the craft find that it contains no anomalous technology. Through currently unknown means, SCP-7233-1 is able to reach relativistic speeds and engage in FTL travel. SCP-7233-1 is capable of engaging in combat, utilizing anomalous weaponry, capable of disabling any Foundation air assets. Explanations from SCP-7233 as to how it can achieve this do not correspond with the current understanding of paraphysics. SCP-7233's stated goal is that of a traveler and an engineer to travel through the universe, providing their services for the sake of adventure. The anomaly has chosen Earth as their record-keeping spot, arriving on an infrequent schedule to talk about their travels. Since the anomaly was discovered by the Foundation, attempts by the anomaly to speak with the civilian populace have been minimized. It has become standard procedure as part of the anomaly uncontainable status to ask about any potential interstellar threats. However, the veracity of SCP-7233's stories cannot be easily verified. On SCP-7233-1's arrival, a spatial distortion can be detected above the Earth's atmosphere. After which, SCP-7233-1 will begin to land. SCP-7233-1 will begin to descend to the planet's surface. However, it will not exhibit any thermal radiance, as is common with objects such as meteorites. It will then land in an open area without any obstructions that SCP-7233 could be caught on. In all cases, monoliths of varying sizes manifest around SCP-7233-1's landing site and do not demanifest upon departure. These structures are believed to mark safe landing zones for SCP-7233-1's arrivals. Discovery. SCP-7233 is believed to have visited Earth several times before the Foundation was established. Through anecdotal accounts of a man in an unidentified flying object visiting a variety of civilizations. Several ancient structures have been determined to be potential landing sites for SCP-7233-1. These include Stonehenge, Noptoplaya, Amazon Stonehenge, Karahunge, Medusae Fossae, Mars. An example of this can be seen in a document written by a member of GOI 712. Footnote. Also known as the Yokai Hunters. The Yokai Hunters were a GOI active between 900 to 1100 that specialized in neutralizing Japanese anomalies. Circa 900s Japan. GOI 712 document. I'm reporting not on a yokai, but a strange magical event nonetheless. A traveler came to our village in a strange magical vessel that I'd never laid eyes on. As it began to land, pillars of stone, 6 shaku. Footnote: Japanese unit of measurement converts to 1.8 meters. In height, formed in a circle around its landing spot. It is comprised of a basket with a device that produces flame into a large spherical sheet. The traveler is able to speak our language and claims to have come from the stars. They had asked for a place to stay and food, for they had been traveling for a while. I was skeptical that the man could have come from the heavens, although the armor he wore appeared to have strange magical properties, such as apparently removing his need to use the privy. I invited him into my home so that I might learn more on behalf of our organization. As I dined, I asked our traveler if he had been to the Takamagahara. Footnote: the celestial realm, or heavens. And used the Ama no Ukihashi. Footnote: bridge between earth and heaven. To descend to the earthly plane, but he denied this. He claims that there are more realms out there besides ours. He refers to them as planets and galaxies. I challenged him on this, stating that the one he saw was most likely an extension of the heavens, and that the planets he had been to were simply different regions. He seemed to go along with this, stating that he has heard many different ideas of what the nature of the heavens is like. He then went on to describe his journeys before arriving in Hokkaido, telling of a story in which he had battled a creature whose description matched Yamata no Orochi. Footnote: 8-headed dragon of Japanese folklore. In one of the stars of the Cygnus constellation. He said that he was unable to slay the beast, but was able to retrieve one of its tails. He gifted the tail to our family as a sign of friendship, and said that it contained extraordinary medicinal properties. I graciously accepted this artifact from him, and it started to dawn on me that he may have been telling the truth. Before he would end up leaving, I had asked if it were possible for him to share the magic that allowed him to visit the heavens, but he declined. Apparently, such magic is not his to give, and he left us with a goodbye. I can only assume this vessel was handed to him by Amaterasu. Footnote: Japanese goddess of the sun. So we may not forget what lies out there. Masahiro Taniguchi. The first Foundation encounter with SCP-7233 occurred in 1920 in FP-120's Living District. Footnote: Nexus located under Site-120, known as Esterberg, home of the Fae. Foundation agents from Site-120 had been tracking an extraterrestrial object that had been spotted by Foundation observatories. SCP-7233-1 was found parked outside of a restaurant with stone pillars surrounding it that had destroyed several tables. Inside the establishment, SCP-7233 was arguing with the restaurateur about paying for the potential damages. The agents approached and diffused the situation, offering to pay for the damage. The agents then told SCP-7233 that they would need to come with them for questioning. SCP-7233 accepted. SCP-7233 was brought to Site-120 and interviewed by Site Director Raya Michaels. The following is a written transcription of the conversation that occurred. Director Michaels sits in a chair across from SCP-7233, a table separating the three of them. SCP-7233 has a humanoid shape, most likely 1.8 meters in height. It wears an orange suit with a visor that obscures their face. Michaels clears their throat and begins to speak.
I have to admit, I didn't think we'd catch a spaceman in the city of the Fae. That place must be something special. The city was one of the nicer ones I've been to here. Also, spaceman? I think you are mistaken. I'm human, like you.
Director Michaels cocks an eyebrow at the entity.
Well, without removing your suit, I can't be certain. What brings you to Earth? Well, there's a ship out there with a signature to mine that led me in this direction. I figured I'd stop by and try the local grub. You're saying there's another being like you out there? Maybe. I've never really had a purpose in all my wandering. Whoever this person is might give me some direction in my life. I can sympathize with your goal, but I can't really allow you to leave. We'll be grounding your balloon and taking you into custody. I'm sorry, Constable, but I can't let you detain me. I have places to be. I can understand that, but I have to.
SCP-7233 presses a button on his wrist and disappears from view, along with POI 9008. Director Michaels is shocked by the disappearance and begins to inform the guards to begin a search, before SCP-7233 and POI 9008 reappear.
How did you do that? Where did you go? I was checking to see where you had my ship inbounded. I thank you for moving it someplace without obstructions. I always hate when the hull gets snagged. Hull? Of your balloon? It's a spaceship, ma'am. It's how I travel through space.
SCP-7233 points to their wrist.
My suit has a built-in return home function in the event that either I'm captured by hostile enemy forces or, less than hostile in your case, we can return to the ship and make my getaway. Well, we could always restrain you. Again, I don't want to make this into a struggle. I wouldn't try that either.
SCP-7233 presses another button on the pad on their wrist and proceeds to move their hand down to the table. His hands phase through the table and back out unharmed.
Phasing, you see. My suit allows me to pass through solid objects. You could try and wrestle me down if you'd like, but it would be a moot point. You have a few clever anomalous tricks, I'll give you that. But listen, as benign as you might be, we have a mandate to contain the anomalous. Anomalous? Is that what they are calling science on this planet these days? The anomalous is what we call things outside of the norm. Sounds very restrictive, although I guess I can relate. I have a personal rule not to interfere in the development of underdeveloped worlds such as yours by leaving behind any technology. Memorabilia notwithstanding. Getting back around to the issue, I won't let you hold me here. I hear the call to adventure, and I'd rather not spend my waking days stuck in a cell. I might have an idea. Something that I can potentially sell to my superiors. I'm listening. You agree that whenever you stop by Earth, you are not to show or reveal your anomalous properties to anyone, and in return, you are to report to the nearest Foundation site and give a debriefing of what you find out in the cosmos. If there's anything that could threaten us, you are to report it. That works out for me. At least let me regale you with one of my tales, miss. I didn't come all this way to not tell one. My work doesn't exactly entail listening to your stories, but perhaps you could enlighten me as to how you acquired your vessel.
SCP-7233 proceeded to tell a long-winded 30-minute story that involved pirates, interstellar demons, cake, at least 7 planets, and a monkey. Michaels appeared to be listening intently.
I see. So once you had completed the trials of the Magellonian Temple, you got the Exonoria needed to fly the balloon. Exciting stuff.
Exactly. For something this powerful, you need something very energy dense. If you like that, I'll return with more stories for sure. Thank you for the opportunity.
SCP-7233 and Director Michaels ordered all personnel observing to leave. Following this meeting, Director Michaels sent a bulletin to all Foundation sites to be on the lookout for SCP-7233 and explained the deal they had struck. Director Michaels put forth a petition to classify SCP-7233 as Ticonderoga, but a majority of Foundation sites refused, and SCP-7233 was labeled as Keter. Several attempts were made in the following years to capture SCP-7233, but all failed. In all cases, SCP-7233 would disable any attackers non-lethally, and calmly ask to speak with a researcher to talk about his life. Addendum 7233.01 Site 17 Interview December 13th, 1940. On December 13th, 1940, Site 17 detected SCP-7233-1 using newly made radar systems and attempted to down the craft using anti-aircraft weapons and planes. Their weapons proved to be ineffective against the balloon, and all impacts hitting with an invisible force. SCP-7233-1 was able to land near Site 17, where 3 MTF squads were deployed to apprehend the anomaly. The MTF instead found a Caucasian male carrying a diving helmet, designated as POI 9008, and brought him for questioning. Film reel begins. POI 9008 is seated behind a desk, nervous and fidgeting. Researcher Alan Graves of Site 17's Astronomy Department is giving the interview.
Look, I didn't do anything wrong. I just came down here to relay a message. There was no reason to start shooting at me.
You were flying in a craft associated with someone we are trying to apprehend. Where is he?
The Astroneer? He's on Lumia 6 asking around about a ship we've been tracking.
And you are?
My name is Felix. I'm his personal biographer. He picked me up in, what year is it now?
1940?
Sorry, all the time dilation makes it hard to remember. It was 1910 when he first picked me up in Tuscaloosa.
We weren't aware he was here in 1910. Did you explain that encounter?
Yeah, I was outside my house when he landed nearby. I invited him inside because, why not? Seemed like an alright fella. He got to tell me about his amazing space adventures, and I didn't believe him at first.
But what made you believe?
He took me for a ride and showed me the rings of Saturn, and boy, let me tell you, that was the most beautiful sight I'd seen. He asked me if I wanted to come with him, keep him company, and write about his adventures. I didn't see much going on for me back home. My parents had died, and my writing career was going nowhere, so why not?
Interesting. So, why did he send you out here alone? Does it have to do with the message you mentioned earlier? And what's with the diving helm?
That's the helmet I use to breathe in space. And as for the warning, are you aware of Sowell Suessor?
I am aware of SCP-179. How do you know of it?
Well, Astroneer thinks that she's the hottest girl in the sector. No pun intended, although his attempts at flirting never go anywhere because he's terrible with women. Unless they are authority figures, which is weird. that's besides the point.
POI 9008 scratches his head.
Anyway, Sally said that Kalor Maxim had sent one of his technovore swarms in this direction and to let you know.
Kalor Maxim? Technovores?
Alright, the government's never heard of him. Kalor is the emperor of the Black Lotus Space Empire out in the Pleiades star cluster. He's not a big empire, only a dozen planets, but he's been looking to expand. He sends out these drones to test the defenses of neighboring worlds to see if they're ripe for conquest.
Well, I'm not with the government. Our organization is separate. But, are you certain? I need to inform the overseers about this.
I am very certain, sir.
Well, perhaps our response was a bit extreme. After this, I will get that news to the necessary people. If you wouldn't mind, I do have some other questions for you regarding the properties of your companion. For example, your balloon. How does it work?
I'm not exactly sure myself. I went to college for English, not physics. But from what he's told me, it rides on something called etheric wind, and that they take us anywhere from 2 to 100 times the speed of light depending on the route.
Etheric wind? We've never detected such a force before. I'd assumed your balloon had some sort of propulsion device. Pretty impressive one if you were able to break the speed of light.
I'm proof of that. I've hardly aged since then. Feels like an eternity when you're on the winds, but you get to enjoy the swirls and pretty colors, and then, bam, you're somewhere else and your watch has hardly moved.
You know of the method of this travel? Can help us against this Kalor Maxim.
Sorry, it's against his rules, and even then, I'm not the guy who made the balloon.
Graves shakes his head.
Then perhaps you could relay to him that he could come back to adventure here on Earth. There are places that we have cordoned off from the civilian world. We could provide housing for you both, and keep you safe.
That would be nice, sir, but what kind of places exactly?
We call them nexuses. They are alternate dimensions leading to new countries and areas of wilderness with undocumented fauna. And you could have a cushy base of operations here at the Foundation. We could even offer you a job.
Employment would be a good deal. Me and the big guy are always strapped for cash, but we have things to attend to. That ship we were talking about? We've been searching for decades for it, but we wouldn't just give up on it.
Well, we could always keep you here, Felix, till your friend makes his decision.
That's not gonna work because he's gonna be teleporting me out any moment now.
POI 9008 looks around at the guards who are slowly approaching him.
Any moment now.
POI 9008 slowly disappears as the guards place their hands on them. End film. Since 1942, Foundation personnel has been unable to verify the existence of etheric wind, or SCP-7233-1 specific method of FTL travel. Footnote: faster than light. Even with the advent of the Beholder program in 1963, tracking the supposed routes has been difficult. Following the POI 9008's warning, Foundation early warning teams were alerted to the threat coming from the Pleiades star cluster. 2 years later, on the 22nd of September 1942, SCP-179 detected an object hurtling towards Earth that crashed into Auckland, New Zealand. The technological entities held within matched the description given by SCP-7233, confirming that their predictions were accurate. Following this, the O5 Council decreed that SCP-7233 was not to be interfered with, and the deal posed by Site-120 was to stand. SCP-7233 was reclassified as Ticonderoga as a result. Addendum 7233.02. Site 38 interview with SCP-7233. 25th of April, 1967. Following binary star.AIC gaining sentience and its subsequent designation as SCP-5857, Beholder Probe 12 was assigned by the .AIC to track SCP-7233's movements. Binary Star alerted Site 38's Astronomy Department of SCP-7233's arrival in Covington, Tennessee. SCP-7233-1 had landed in a parking lot, and the resulting appearance of circular stone monoliths had impaled several parked vehicles. The female owners of these vehicles had come out of the nearby bar and began to scream at SCP-7233-1, who promptly dropped to their knees and went catatonic, as the women beat him with their purses. POI 9008 was present as well, and attempted to pull the women from SCP-7233-1, but was unable to dissuade them. Oh, man. An MTF specializing in disinformation and amnesticization was deployed, and any witnesses had been amnesticized and the structures and debris removed. The following interview was given by Marshall Ruthers, lead astronomer of Site 38's Astronomy Department. Begin film.
SCP-7233, I'd like to start by apologizing for what happened 20 years ago. Graves attacking you and your companion was uncalled for. Things have changed since then, and you won't come under any harm from us. That's a promise.
Good enough for me. Glad to see not everyone in your organization is a bunch of assholes. Now, we would like to apologize for... It's not my fault. I don't control where the landing beacons come out or their size. I thought I'd parked a decent distance from those vehicles.
Relax, it was a mistake. We need to try and land away from civilian populations.
I understand.
The other thing that's concerning is your behavior around those women. Glad you didn't try to use your suit on them, but... why did you freeze? You could have run. Looking through these previous files, you seemed quite brave.
I am brave, but, Say, did you deal with those technovores I told you about?
Wait.
You can't avoid his question. Women scare the shit out of him. Here, I'll give you an example. Did you know that he turned down 8 princesses? 8. We saved them from slavers, and they were practically about to tear each other apart to marry this guy. Turn them all down. Daria, Dahlia, Danica, Danielle, Demetria, Dopia, Dantal, and Dinia were all very nice ladies, but I couldn't choose. Bro, polyamory is the norm on their planet.
Easy, Felix. Let's get things back on track with the Technivore thing. SCP-179 alerted us to their presence when they arrived, although there were a few casualties. Thankfully, we were prepared for such an event thanks to you.
I'm glad to hear it. I see that you've also begun your first forays into space. I was contacted by that Beholder AI of yours.
It contacted you directly? We told it to observe only.
Well, following something trailing in the ether can be a hard job, so I told him how to properly keep track of my ship by scanning for the exonoric discharge that my balloon releases.
Exonoria? What exactly is that? You mentioned it in a previous interview.
You see, it is an element discovered and named by yours truly. I'm not sure exactly how you classify your elements here, but it has 150 electrons if that helps. I use it to power the cells of my ship.
150? We've only been able to synthesize elements with 105 electrons. How do you stop it from decaying in a picosecond?
Very carefully.
Right. But we've talked casually enough. My superiors are, of course, wanting to hear about anything you think we might need to know. Our first attempted moon landing is in the planning stages, so we need to know if there are any anomalous phenomena we should know about.
Well, I think you should be fine. As long as the moon monsters don't rear their ugly heads, although I think they are hibernating this time of year.
Did you say moon monsters?
I wouldn't worry about it. You should all be A-okay for your first moon landing. Proud of you all. You have all come a long way from thinking that space was something called heaven. I also wanted to report that we found the ship you were looking for. Turned out to be a Zeppelin.
In the middle of space? What kind of fabric would allow it to not pop?
Man, you're asking all the wrong questions. Who cares what it was made out of? The really important thing is the pilot.
SCP-7233's voice begins to flutter, and he shuffles excitedly in his seat.
That's when she hailed me and I gazed at her for the first time. Her helmet had an exquisite structure, her visor shined like the Beetlejuice, and her eyebrows. My God.
Eyebrows? You said she was wearing a helmet. How?
Stop getting caught up in the minor details. Anyways, this hottie with engineering abilities to be rivaled by the greatest of shipsmiths said to me that she liked my ship and invited me to go with her to explore the ruins of the first planet around Alpha Centauri.
Did you say yes and get her contact info?
No. I was too nervous and... Was I supposed to?
Jesus, man, I thought you were the galaxy's greatest adventurer.
I am! Women are uncharted territory for me.
SCP-7233's voice cracks and pauses for a moment.
They're more terrifying than that space-time distortion in the Boots Void. You aren't gonna get through to him, Doc. I've told him this for years, and I was screaming at him to go talk to her.
Listen, I'm no expert in picking up chicks, but you just gotta talk to them and be yourself. You seem like a great guy, and it sounds like she knew you were, too.
But what if I freeze up? I can hardly talk to Sally, and she's really up there, and those women before, they hated me. They wouldn't even accept my apologies.
Well, humans can be very hard to reason with, especially when it comes to cars. That doesn't mean your Zeppelin girl would be the same.
Regardless, I don't even know where she is now. She could be anywhere.
Well, it's never stopped you, has it? If she's like you, there's plenty of time to track her down and see what she's about.
You are right, Anomaly Keeper. And Felix, I'm sorry I dismissed your opinions. I am the Astroneer, not some mopey fool. I am going to get to my ship and find her, even if it kills me.
SCP-7233 vanishes. End film. SCP-7233's claim of moon monsters proved to be unsubstantiated, as the moon landing of 69 proceeded as planned, without any sign of anomalous activity. However, this claim would be brought back up again when the Foundation encountered SCP-1233 in the 2000s. Addendum 7233.03 Site 19 interview with SCP-7233 25th of April, 1990. Begin recording.
This is Dr. Sean Saxon, performing an interview with SCP-7233 and BOI-9008. The subject appears to be slightly distressed on arrival and expressed an enthusiasm to perform an interview. SCP-7233, do you mind telling me what is the cause of this excitement? Well, it has been a long time since I've been on Earth and my situation has changed. But I'm assuming you won't allow me to tell it unless I give you some sort of information. So, I'm on my way into the solar system. I witnessed a terrible accident in the Oort cloud. You might want to get someone out there and check for survivors. Oh, geez, I'll let Binary Star know and we'll investigate. It's the girl I mentioned in my last interview. I found her. Yes, the girl with the Zeppelin. I've read the file. How did your interaction go? Well, the funny thing is that we ended up traveling with each other for a decade or so. Felix had tagged along, and then, in true Esternier fashion, he fucked things up royally. Felix, I'm telling a story. So things really started to get really strange. She kept insisting we take our suits off instead of performing customary displays of affection while suited. Helmet pecks and hand-holding, you know. What you're describing to me is that she wanted to get intimate with you. SCP-7233, you two seem like you're in a loving relationship. What would be the big deal? The big deal? You aren't supposed to take off your suit? I wouldn't really know what to do without it. I rely on it for everything. She also shared that sentiment, but she told me she was comfortable taking it off for me. The only person she would do it for. And you couldn't extend her the same courtesy? Well, it made me feel uncomfortable, okay? It's not as simple as taking clothes off. I can't even look at her in the face when she takes it off for maintenance. It's not right! So while he was being him, I did my usual thing and I talked to her and told them about marriage. That scrappy broad took the idea like glue. She went out to the core of a gas giant and risked her life to get this guy the biggest diamond you've ever seen. I was ready to document that she got down to one knee and proposed. That sounds really sweet. What did you say? I didn't say anything. I ran. I got in my ship and floated my way down here. I know you all are busy and there's probably better places to ask, but this is just what came to mind. Did I make the right choice? I know she's probably out there waiting for my answer. It's been 10 years, maybe she's forgotten. Did you love Zeppelin Girl? I do, more than anything, and it pains me to have to reject her like that. Do you think she loves you the same way? I think so. She waited years for me to accept her invitation of adventure, and I guess she's never stopped trying to hail me after I left. You should go to her. From what I understand, you shouldn't keep a woman waiting for long. Yes, this is the adventure I was meant for. The long journey I've been on has been for this. I'll tell her that I want to marry her. Thank you, Doctor. Next time I'll be back. I'm back, I'll be telling you about our honeymoon.
End recording. Addendum 7233.04. Site 43 interview with SCP-7233. 25th of April, 2006. On April 25th, 2006, Beholder Probe 12 received an urgent transmission from SCP-7233, and its course changed drastically toward Earth. He was received by Site 43 and brought in for an interview. Most of Site 43's senior staff was busy with other projects, leaving the interview to be performed by junior researcher Lee Richter. Begin recording. SCP-7233 is fidgeting intensely, and POI 9008 looks distressed, as researcher Richter is sitting attentively.
What's wrong? Your transmission said that there was trouble.
It's my love. She's been taken and it's all my fault.
What? Who took her?
It was that damn bastard Kaylor Maxim. I went looking for her after I'd spoken to Dr. Saxon, but she wasn't where she'd said she'd be. We looked for years trying to find her, but eventually we got a message from Kaylor Maxim. It taunted us and said that he'd captured her and made her a part of his harem.
Maxim? Wait.
Richter begins flipping through SCP-7233's file.
That's the Technivore guy from the 40s. What do you think he did it? this some type of revenge, or...
It's revenge. The big guy over here couldn't keep his mouth shut while we were drinking our sorrows away on Minoria 4. Gaylord knows he stopped its conquest of Earth. If only I hadn't been so wasted that day, I could have...
Both of you stop being so hard on yourselves. I mean, sure, maybe you shouldn't go talking smack about evil space dictators, but you can't beat yourself up. She needs you. Both of you. You should be out there trying to save her.
SCP-7233 shakes his head.
I can't do it. Gaylord Maxim's powers are way too powerful for my suit to handle. He'll turn me into mincemeat the moment I step foot in that world.
There's nothing I can do to help. I'm just a glorified pencil pusher getting the senior staff coffee. Do you know if he has any weaknesses you could potentially exploit?
Well, there is supposedly a substance, but I don't know where I'd get something like this.
If you tell me, we may be able to synthesize it.
Well, legend says there is a substance made from the bodies of thousands of dead creatures, broken and down and converted into their most base elements. The power of these beings is then conferred to the convection through their ether. Then this broth gets hydrolyzed and mixed into a gel. This gelled substance can reflect certain warping abilities back at its user.
Are you talking about gelatin?
He's talking about gelatin, yes.
It's gelatin he needs. Why didn't you make it for him? You guys haven't stumbled into something with bones? Or hooves?
No one in this universe besides this planet knows how to make it. I don't even know. My mama just got it in those packets. That's why I recommended we came here. I still don't believe you have such powerful material. You say I'm the storyteller.
Richter walks over to the mini-fridge and brings a cup of Jell-O to the table.
Boom. Gelatin.
SCP-7233 picks up the Jell-O cup and inspects it.
This is it! Just as in the texts that I've read. How did you acquire this?
We produce tons of it every year. It's really cheap.
No civilization has mastered the art of producing gelatin. I thought it was lost a long time ago. This is what I need. It'll be all of the gelatin you can find. Pencil pusher, you're a genius!
Genius? I got that at a store for $2, buddy. And see if we can't spare any from the fridges. Follow me.
End recording. SCP-7233 was granted access to 20 kilograms of gelatin authorized by Site Director McInnes. SCP-7233 departed with it in SCP-7233-1, presumably to the Pleiades star cluster. Addendum 7233.05 Site-78 interview with SCP-7233 2nd of June, 2022. After an encounter with POI 9009, footnote, author of the Set of Nine, a series of anomalous books. Site-78's newly founded aeronautics department began to send signals out into the Terzan 2 star cluster. Footnote, star cluster near the galactic core, 28,000 light-years from Earth. Believed to be home to numerous alien civilizations, with a connection to the Church of the Second Hytoth. Using newly developed quantum communication technology. Their objective was to reach any of the civilizations located there, in order to ascertain the potential location of one of the anomalies comprising the Set of Nine. Footnote, a set of potentially 10 anomalous books. Site-78's primary directive is the capture and containment of this set. One of these transmissions reached SCP-7233, who responded back through Beholder Probe 12. SCP-7233 stated that he would be coming back to Earth with assistance to pay back researcher Lee Richter. Richter, now Director of Site-78, communicated back through binary star.aic to have him come to Site-78 for a debrief. SCP-7233-1 landed in Chugwater, Wyoming, only 48 hours after the transmission was received. MTF Omega-45 arrived to deliver SCP-7233 to the site, along with their cargo, which appeared to be the wreckage of a destroyed spacefaring vessel. Begin recording. SCP-7233 and POI-9008 are standing in the aeronautics hangar, with Site Director Leah Richter and Dr. Matthew Vincent.
You guys have no idea what I had to do to get here. Doesn't who is way the hell out in the Galactic Core. I had jumped through so many wormholes to get here in a reasonable amount of time. I'm just glad you're alive. You had me worried all those years that Kaylor had killed you. You think Kaylor Maxim could take him out? Didn't stand a chance. Well, I would like to hear what happened. Never heard one of his famous stories. I have to admit, I'd be curious to hear about this Kaylor Maxim fellow. That I can do. Alright, boys and girls, gather round. This is the Astroneer's tale of his greatest adventure yet. So with all of the gelatin that I got from the lovely pencil pusher, I constructed a new helmet made from this powerful substance. Felix didn't want one, so we smeared him in it and called it a day. Gelatin? What does that have to do with? It's a long story. Let him talk. We'll be here forever. With my new gelatin helmet, I hopped in my craft and made my way to the Pleiades star system to get back my beloved. I headed straight for Alcyone, the Black Locust Empire's capital, where a mighty fleet stood between her and me. I plowed through them, taking out at least 7 capital ships single-handedly. 7? Are you sure about that? He is not kidding. He was flying that day better than I'd ever seen. When you're taking out the forces of evil, you tend to lose count. So after battling my way through the blockade, we landed in the royal capital. Gaylor's guards were waiting for us, a legion of the Emperor's best men in gilded armor. I fought tooth and nail, smashing the vanguard of troops and sprinting my way to the palace. A legion? What, like 100? An Imperial Legion is 1,000 men. Although some of them were killed indirectly. I messed up the voice. 1,000 kills for the Astroneer. Even though that red haze of my new helmet. Through that red haze of my new helmet, I was going to enter that throne room and show Kaylor the power of my love. I bust through the windows of one of the palaces and demanded I be shown to the royal seat. I dealt with any resistance on the way, not breaking a single sweat until I'd entered the domain of the beast. There I saw Kaylor sitting on his throne with my beloved. She was chained up by his throne with 12 other women. And did you freeze up? He did not. I was so proud of him. I did not have to avert my eyes from seeing my love out of the suit. We weren't married yet. I did have to avert my eyes from seeing my love out of the suit. We weren't married yet after all. That is when Kaylor asked me, "Just who the hell do you think you are?" And I told him, "I'm the Astroneer that is my fiancé, and you're about to be deposed." He merely laughed at my one-liner and stood up and drew his weapon. With a snap of his fingers, he tried warping me somewhere else, and found that his powers didn't work. "Now we fight on even ground," I said, and we fought an epic battle that lasted for at least 2 days. 2 days? Did those slave girls get anything to eat or drink during that? I brought them popcorn for it, but it definitely wasn't 48 hours, maybe grueling hours. He'd summoned all types of horrors and sent them at me. I slew at least 5 mimics during that fight. I told you those were just regular jars. That is what the jars wanted you to think. But I saw it differently. With his reality warping powers, I knew that any object in that room could come alive and attack me. By the time it was over, I'd taken his eye, his arm, and his pride. Aliulo lay broken on the ground, a shell of a man. I grabbed a blanket to cover my beloved's body and quickly found a helmet to cover her face. I spirited her away from the palace and into my ship. "Astronier," she said, "you came back for me." I told her that I did, and most importantly, I told her the words that mattered most. I do. Wait. That's not how it happened. You locked up the moment you touched her skin. We dragged you out of the palace and we had to get your heart beating again because someone had a heart attack because a girl touched him. Lies and slander. I was tired. She also laughed and said you were a silly man in a silly helmet, but she loved you all the same. Silly? I think you mean sexy.
Richter has tears in their eyes, but Dr. Vincent looked skeptical as SCP-7233 and POI 9009 continued to argue details.
I'm not sure most of that was true. Nope, it's all the truth and I've learned a lesson from it all. I shouldn't bluster so much. You know, a part of my troubles with girls just stemmed from me not being me. I was cranking things up to 102% when I should have been at 100%. 102%? I doubt it was that incremental of a jump. There's no need to fret over the minor details. Now, for what I've brought you.
SCP-7233 walks over and places a hand on the large pieces of machinery.
This is a remnant of a destroyed Saurian craft.
Footnote. See SCP-7091 for more details on the Saurian Collective.
There's not much left of their civilization anymore after they were destroyed by a rival race. I salvaged this from an old battlefield when I heard you were all looking for a way to Terzon too. So it's true then. A volume of the set of 9 is in Terzon 2 somewhere.
SCP-7233 nods.
It's just a rumor, but we found ancient Ortothan writings that speak of a tome that was used to aid the Vorutot against their Holy Seven. Interesting. This makes me wonder if there's any mention of that in our earthly Ortothan writings. I'm glad to get the heads up, but why give us this ship? Doesn't it go against your prime directive? No catch. This thing is an older models anyways, so it's not like I'm giving you the latest stuff. Besides, I owe the old pencil pusher there a favor. Without her, I would never have saved the woman I loved. And gotten married to boot. That's Director Pencil Pusher to you. Thank you. Good luck on your honeymoon if you're still on it. Maybe you can tell me about it before I die, yeah? Well, I'm hoping to get the book out soon. We'll send you a copy. And I will try to stop by more often. If I can't, you guys should definitely hit us up when you are out in the cosmos. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for everything.
End recording.
That was an hour-long article. Holy shit. There goes Aliulo. Did I die? Did I disappear? Still picking up audio. I noticed Weeble kept glitching out, but I think that might be because of the orientation of the microphone. I don't think I'll do the putting the mic in front of my face next time. I think that may have been a bad idea. My audio wasn't too bad, was it? Dude, I know, that was a long one. It was fun, though. The Astroneer! Lost in the cosmos. Wasn't bad. Okay. Just hoping I wasn't peeking or anything. If I sound like I'm further away, it's because I'm leaning back in my chair because, back tired. Anyway. My voice is wrecked after that. Having to do voices for an hour straight is pretty exhausting, don't you know? That was fun. I like this. This is a good article. It feels like a mixture of like early early sci-fi, like space adventure, like space opera type shit, and like early sci-fi, like pre-modern sci-fi, where like Victorian era shit. I like the two. Yeah, that was a fun one. Like the guy rolls up in a hot air balloon. I'm here to stop your rain. I got lost when I was trying to follow with you. Oh, my apologies. I mean, it is long, so it's easy to get lost in this type of article. But that will be it for tonight. My throat cannot handle another. Also, it's midnight, so. I probably shouldn't stream anymore. So I think we will end it here. Tomorrow, we will likely be playing more Back to the Future. Mayhaps, Chapter 4, mayhaps Chapter 4 and 5, depends on the weather. I don't think it's going to rain, so I've probably got some work to do IRL. Monday, I think I might break my rule and do an extra stream to finish Control. Do AWE. And then start the month off going back into Dark Souls. Also, on Monday, might do an extra reading stream. Well, maybe not. I have a delivery on. I have work on Tuesday. Maybe not. I don't know. I'd like to do an extra SCP reading stream to catch up because. Let me show you real quick. These were all handed to me. So, like, I got work to do. So I might do an extra one. Also, I should pick up Final Fantasy XIV. I'll probably pick it back up in July. Give it a while for people to get Dawn Trail out of their system. Maybe I'll do something else for evening streams. I've really fallen behind on streaming. I'm gonna try and stream more next month. Don't know how I'll do. Summer is my busiest season, but we'll see. Anyway, thank y'all for hanging out. I hope you had a good time, because I certainly did. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you later.